Apply Superelevation to my road. I'm just going to go to Tools, System Parameters. Here I can access the Analysis Defaults tab, where I can set my slope format for output in the rule-based Superelevation wizard. I'm going to set this to percentage and hit OK. I'm now going to go to rule-based Superelevation on the road design toolbar. Here I can select the reference string MC10 from the drop down. I could also pick this from the screen. I'm happy with my start and end chainage because I'm running this for the full length of the road. I'm going to leave the annotation colours as they are. I'm obviously going to keep on my application length criteria colour. I'm hoping not to see red when I generate the Superelevation. There is also an edit existing panel here which I could select. At the minute it's greyed out because I haven't previously run any Superelevation, but this is very useful because if I want to modify or view previously applied Superelevation, I can go directly into the Edit Values panel. I'm now going to hit Next, which is where I need to browse to my rules file. Left click, and the one we're using today is the UK TD 993 Urban Single rules file, so I hit open. In the UK there are separate standards for single and dual carriageways. Both standards have two sets of rules called urban and rural, which allow different design speed criteria. I could select this from the drop down, but I'm going to go from alignment because I've already specified a 60 kph design speed for my alignment. I'm now going to hit Next. The Superelevation wizard allows me to select the pivot method that I'm going to use, and the choice is for either single or dual carriageways. When a road contains a curve, the profile of the carriageway is superelevated according to the design speed and rules chosen. The way that the cross-section changes from the standard profile to the superelevated profile is defined by the pivot method. I'm pivoting the Superelevation about the road centerline, so I'm going to select the top right diagram. This is a single centerline pivot on a cross-hung road. The application of the Superelevation to the left and right channel strings will start or end at the same chainages, so the rate of change for each string is different. I'm now going to hit Apply, and this is where I can select my carriageway edge strings. Because of the string naming convention, MX Road already knows the left and right edges, but it is worth checking. I'm now going to hit Next, and the carriageway Superelevation is now calculated. In the Check Design panel, and I can see that there are three conflicts. I'm going to review the conflicts. Now this panel displays information about any points along the carriageway where the calculated Superelevation could cause problems. For example, if the calculated length of application is too short for the driver's comfort. The settings in the Superelevation rule file that was selected checks for comfort. This checks the difference between the longitudinal falls on the channel and centerline are not greater than 1% over the transition length. If the gradient is too steep, the application length is too short, the application will not adhere to the comfort criteria. The gradient check on the alignment is set to 0.5%. If check values are equal or less than this value, we have not adhered to the drainage criteria, which is the case in this example. Remember, we specified a gradient of 0.5% on the last grade of the alignment. The gradient checks where I've gone equal to or less than 0.5% can also be viewed in the plan drawing. If I left click on the chainage in the conflict table and window into the plan drawing, I can see a line shown in magenta, and if I window in a little bit more, you can also see on this left channel that I've got a gradient of less than 0.5%. If I window out a bit more and select chainage 380, again you can see I've got the same problem. In this case it's on the left channel and the right channel. Having viewed the conflicts to find out that the deviation is due to drainage criteria, I'm going to close the panel and I'm going to select Edit from the Check Design panel. The Edit Value panel lets you review and edit the calculated superelevation. It is important to remember we are not changing the actual transition lengths. These can only be modified in the horizontal design. Clicking on any element in the current values list brings up a schematic diagram of the curve with crossfall wedges showing how the superelevation is applied. This is also reflected in the plan drawing. Again, if I pick the normal crown in at the start of my first transition, it's highlighted in magenta. If I pick full super in, it shows the position at the end of the transition and the start of the first curve. In this case, with a single centerline pivot on a cross-hung road, 4 values will be calculated per curve. I've got a normal crown in, a full super in. When we exit the curve, there will be a full super out. Again, this is highlighted in the plan drawing. And when we hit the straight at the end of the trailing transition, we've got a normal crown out position. Each line will give information about the left and right crossfalls. At the full super in, we also show the application length and also the relative grade, and in this case the radius as well. To edit any values, all I need to do is click on the appropriate line in the current values, and then I can go to Edit on the right hand side of the panel. In this panel I can change in crossfall, or in this case I can alter application lengths. The radio button is set to Edit Application Length, and I'm going to set this to 20 meters, and I'm going to lock the full superposition. I hit Apply. Now remember, I have shortened the application length significantly, and I am expecting a problem here. So if I window in to the first transition, you can see everything's in red. I've got warnings. There's the start of the application. There's the end, but it is too short. This is also reflected on the line where I've got the full super in. I can see my relative grade has gone above 1%. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the undo, and I want to return to the previous values which were acceptable. If at any stage I want to check my original application details, I can left click on this tab which shows the rules file that I used, and if I'm happy I can hit finish, and all the superelevation values will be applied to this road.